Hello everybody and welcome, I am Bricker Boom, and today is a bit different of a video. Today, we're going to see if I can beat the game Pokemon FireRed with only a Rayquaza, and if there's any doubt about that, then have you bothered to check its stats? Rayquaza has an insane attack, a pretty good special attack, and even its lowest stats are at 90, which is far above a lot of things that we've used in the past. The level up moveset isn't too bad, to be honest, and even the TM list isn't too bad itself. Now, the reason that this video is going to be different is during the run, I'll be answering some Ask Me Anything questions in between the traveling portions on this video. So for this particular run, we're going to go ahead and give the rival Charmander, because let's be honest, at the end of the day, it's not going to matter much. With our Rayquaza, we have a rash nature, which raises our attack but lowers our special defense, not that we need it too much. We also have an ability that's useless, so let's not worry about that for right now. The beginning of the game isn't too difficult, and we immediately head to the optional rival fight. The rival starts with Pidgey, and we open with Twister, taking it to not quite half as it lands a weak tackle, then Sand Attack. We miss, then take it down. Next is Charmander, and we take it to not quite half and get the flinch before taking it to red as it scratches us. We miss, and then we take it out. While traveling to Pewter City, I was given the question from the first of these, what's your favorite fire type from each generation? For Generation 1, I'd have to say Ninetales. I really liked Naruto when I was growing up, so I really enjoyed this design, though I'm gonna be honest, Arcanine is a very close second. For Gen 2, it's probably going to be Houndoom, and there isn't even a close second. Gen 3, we'd be looking at Blaziken. Honestly, it's a shame how many water-type Pokemon there are in this particular gen, but it is a great Pokemon, and the fact that it can learn fighting moves means that it can stand up to a lot of dark types. Gen 4, the list is incredibly short, but I'd say probably Heatran, just because there really aren't very many. Gen 5, it's Chandelure, and I don't know if this is a hot take, or if this is a fan favorite, but since day one, I've actually really enjoyed Litwick. I'm not a big fan of the middle evolution, but I do love Chandelure. Gen 6, and I know that I may get some hate for this, it's Delphox. I actually really like the entire starter line. A lot of people hate this Pokemon and this particular starter, but I reserve my hate for Chespin line, personally, because it's so ugly when it evolves. Gen 7, I think it would probably be Alola Marowak. It was a great way to give the Pokemon some additional viability that was very much needed. Gen 8, I'm gonna have to go Scorbunny. I think the design is cute, and Pokemon Snap actually made me a lot more fond of this. And then finally, Gen 9, Ceruledge, but Fuecoco is a close second. But I really like Ceruledge as the color, the design, and the shiny is also incredible. And if you like this kind of content, make sure to go ahead, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. Normally I do challenge runs that aren't so stacked with questions about me, and I'm usually lamenting at Sand Attack from Pidgey, making me lose at about 30 or 40 times before the RNG lines up, but this was essentially a video to thank you all for 1,000 subscribers. We hit the milestone just before October, but I wanted to do some spooky Pokemon runs first. Had my computer hard drive not died randomly in the middle of script writing, there would have been a Chandelure video up last week. I'm currently writing this script on an old Chromebook in an email format that I'll then email to myself to carry over to a Word doc before actually recording. For a little bit of story here, on Monday, the day that my vacation started, I was script writing, watching anime, getting ready to edit a bunch of shorts. And then my computer froze. I restarted thinking that it was just a simple error, and then I started getting the boot error. I tried restarting a few times, tried running into the system itself to see if I could get a temporary workaround, and nothing. My friend that I met online, Ratchet from Ramble and Ratchet, their link will be below. Great spooky streamers. If you want some scary games because I'm too much of a baby to play them, he had a spare hard drive lying around that they sent 2-day shipping. I got it on Halloween, but it's Halloween, so I was spending the evening with my kiddo. Ronifero, my best friend and now a mostly retired streamer and friend, came over Friday and we kind of started diagnosing everything. After 3 hours, we got the computer up and running, but I unfortunately lost everything. I was midway through the video, the gameplay had just been finished, and we tried to recover the hard drive with an M.dot reader, but unfortunately it turns out that the whole thing is borked. I don't know if maybe it just heated up one day and it just couldn't be repaired or what may have happened, but thankfully we are back up and running. I just recorded a bulk of YouTube shorts. Thankfully I was able to recover 2 or 3 of them, but I now have, on the day of writing this, YouTube shorts all the way out to December 4th, so we'll be good. During the time that all this was happening, I decided that it would be easier to do a couple quicker Gen 1 runs to at least make sure that I had content to give you guys. So that's why this exists, and that's why next week's video will probably also be a little bit of an easier one. But without any further waiting, let's go ahead and see how we do against Brock. Brock first sends out Geodude, and we use Twister, our only option really, and take it to red as it uses Defense Curl. The next attack, we're able to go ahead and take it down. We level up, and next out is Onix. Twister takes it to below half as we get hit with Rock Tomb for solid enough damage as it uses Bind next. After that, we can take it down to win a pretty simple first badge. Along the way, the next question that we got here is, what's your favorite sheep Pokemon? And even though it's anonymous, I know who asked this. And it's most definitely Woodloo. It looks like a Pokemon that you could take a nap on, and I love taking naps. So, we go through the route to the right, grab the Dome Fossil, and then make our way through the rest of the cave. Now normally, I go to the rival first, but given the fact that Rayquaza is, well, Rayquaza, we go ahead and fight Misty first. Given the fact that she doesn't have access to anything super effective, I don't think that we're going to have any issues whatsoever. Misty first sends out Staryu, and we open up with Ancient Power, taking it to red as Water Pulse connects, and then Misty heals up. We use another Ancient Power, taking it to red and then taking it out. Last up is Starmie, and Swift does decent enough damage as we take it to about a quarter of its health and we get the Omni Boost. We outspeed now and take it to red as Starmie uses Recover. From there, we spend time trading Twisters as it uses Recovery. It does finally end up opting for Swift, and then we're able to go ahead, take it out. So let's go ahead and go to the rival. The rival first sends out Pidgeotto, and we open up with Ancient Power, opting for the super effective damage, taking it down and getting the Omni Boost. Rattata is next, and we swap over to Water Pulse, taking it out in one shot. Charmander is up next, and we continue with Water Pulse, taking it down in one go as well. Out comes Abra, who can't do much of anything, and we take it down with a single Twister, winning a pretty simple battle. Now, we'll have a bit of travel going forward, and time to look at another question that was given to me. If you could create a Pokemon, what abilities and attributes would it have? If I were to design a Pokemon, I would probably go with a Bear Cub Pokemon, and depending on the season, would decide what it evolves into, kind of like Deerling. So for example, spring a brown bear, summer a black bear, autumn a grizzly bear, and winter a polar bear. Ability, I think, would either be Intimidate or Thick Fat, but I kind of think that Thick Fat would be better because I want to keep it somewhat cute after it evolves, because I love a big, lovable goofball of a Pokemon. I think that's why I like Snorlax so much, because he's ready to just party, eat, take a nap, and I identify with that so much. Alright, rival time, and just like before with better Pokemon, we only fight a few trainers inside the ship, mainly to grab the items that we need, and let's go ahead and see how we do. Pidgeotto is first, and we use Ancient Power to take it down and get a level up in the process. Raticate is next, and we use Water Pulse, taking it out. Kadabra is up, and we swap over to probably the main move that we're going to keep, which is Dragon Claw, and that one-shots it. Then, last is Charmeleon, and we swap back to Water Pulse, taking it down in one shot to win the battle. We give the captain a quick little rub down, and then we head to Surge's gym. Even the almighty power of Rayquaza cannot keep us from failing the trash can puzzle a few times before finally gaining access. Surge is first and starts off with Voltorb, and we open with Ancient Power, taking it down with one shot. Pikachu is out and as frail as ever, and we take it down with one shot, getting an unneeded but always an appreciated boost. After that, it's Raichu, who we knock out, getting another boost, but the battle is over. With that, we have a good deal of travel ahead of us, so I'm going to go ahead and answer 2 questions. The first question is, well, it says I like your butt.
That's not a question.
The other question is, could I show some ankle? No, I don't think. Anyway, let's go ahead and go fight Erica now that we've made it through all this nonsense. Erica starts with Victory Bell, and we take it out in one shot with Dragon Claw. Next out is Tangela, and we continue with the same attack, taking it out as well. Last but not least is Vileplume, and we take it to yellow as it hits us with Stun Spore. Erica does heal up, and we stay paralyzed, but honestly, Acid isn't doing much. And we take it back to red. Another Acid connects, we stay paralyzed. And then another Acid, we take it down, and that wins us the battle. Let's go ahead and take on a Crime Lord. Onyx starts the battle, and it goes down to a single Water Pulse. Rhyhorn is next, and we can take it down with the same move. And then finally, it's out to Kangaskhan, and we use Dragon Claw, nailing it with a critical hit to take it down. Alright, that wraps up Celadon City, and we have one more battle before we can get into a little bit of travel. And this one, honestly, is probably one of the easier battles, especially for the fact that it's a rival battle. Pidgeotto is first, and it uses Quick Attack for a little bit of chip damage, and we take it down with an Ancient Power. Next up is Gyarados, one of his scarier mons, and we use Ancient Power, and we one-shot it. I guess it wasn't that scary. Execute is out, and we swap to Dragon Claw, taking it out in one shot. Kadabra's out, and we continue with Dragon Claw, taking it out as well. Charmeleon is last, and we swap to Water Pulse, taking it out in one shot, and that wins us the battle. After that, it's time for some more travel and for Safari Zone Scramble. We have one more question, and that question is, what Pokemon do you most identify with? And I think I'd have to go with one of 2 options. Either Snorlax, because I'm gonna be honest, like I said before, I love food, and I love taking naps. The other Pokemon that I think that I'd probably identify with is Whismur, mostly because I too scream when I'm startled, so it kind of fits. That's the last of the questions I received doing this, and while they weren't all questions, you know who you are, I still enjoy doing something to make this video a little bit different. I've probably done about 100 of these by now, pretty close to at the very least. So writing the same script somewhat over and over does get a little bit stale. It's just a fun way to be able to break up the monotony. If you want to fire more questions my way, just leave them in the comments below. If I don't immediately answer them there, I'll do it in the next video. And while you're at it, drop a Pokemon challenge you'd like to see. Honestly, it doesn't even have to be a challenging video. I like doing this, so even if it's an easier Pokemon to use, I still have fun with it. And honestly, it allows me to get a little bit caught up on things. That's why I did 2 back-to-back somewhat easier runs. But, time to fight Koga. Koga first sends out Coughing, and we open with Ancient Power, taking it to not quite half. Sludge connects, and then the next Ancient Power, we can take it down. The levels have kind of caught up, and these are bulkier Pokemon. So when Muk comes out, we swap to Dragon Claw, basically for raw damage, and it uses Minimize. The next turn, we're able to take it down. Next up is his other Coughing, and we swap back to Ancient Power, taking it to right about half as Toxic connects. Then, we use another Ancient Power, knocking it out. Wheezing is next, so we swap back to Dragon Claw for the same reason, taking it to red as Smokescreen connects. Not good. Koga heals up, and we use another Dragon Claw, taking it back to red as Koga heals again. We take it back to red, and with 3 HP remaining, he finally stops healing, and we can take it down to narrowly win the battle. I haven't had Rayquaza lose once yet, and I would have been very upset if Koga was the reason for it. Mewtwo lost against Misty, so this seems to be going a lot better. With that out of the way, it's time to head to Saffron. We have a pretty notoriously difficult rival battle, so I want to see how we do. I'm not going to bother fighting any of the people inside, because if it turns out that we just can't win at the level that we're at, they'll be able to give us some XP. We can also grab some vitamins there if needed. Overall, though, I think that we're going to do somewhat alright with this battle. I could see it taking at least 1 or 2 tries, but there's only one way to find out. The rival first sends out Pidgeot, and we use Ancient Power, taking it to red as Wing Attack does a little bit of damage, and then we take it out with 1 shot. Gyarados is next, and we use Ancient Power, taking it to yellow as Dragon Rage connects for guaranteed 40 damage. The next Ancient Power takes it down. Charizard is out, and we use Ancient Power for the 4 times effective damage, taking it down in one shot. We have some Scrambled Eggs to take out, which we do with one go. And then finally, it's up to Alakazam, who we actually end up outspeeding, one-shotting with Dragon Claw, and winning the battle. That went a little bit better than I thought that it would. Honestly, I figured that it would at least be a 2-attempt battle, but let's go ahead and finish up Silphco, keep the victories going. Giovanni first sends out Nidorino, who we take to yellow, and it uses Fury Attack, and we can take it down with the next shot. Rhyhorn is next, and it's probably always going to be a one-shot as it goes down to Water Pulse. Kangaskhan is out, and we swap to Dragon Claw, taking it to red as it only uses Tail Whip. After that, we can take it down. Finally, he sends out Nidoqueen as we Water Pulse it to half and confuse it, and it uses Poison Sting, hitting us with a crit before we take it down. Alright, we're getting into the final stretch of the game here. Let's go ahead and take on Sabrina. Sabrina starts with Kadabra, and we outspeed, taking it down with one Dragon Claw. Next up is Mr. Mime, and we continue with Dragon Claw, taking it down in one go. Venomoth is out, and we swap to Ancient Power, taking it out in one shot. I do level up, and I do get the opportunity to learn Fly. Not that I don't want the coverage, but given the fact that it's a 2-turn, not a 100% accurate move, no thanks. The last I need to do is miss and get knocked out because of it. Last is Alakazam, and we take it out with Dragon Claw, and that's that, 6 badges down. Off to Cinnabar, and with that, it's time to face the red-hot gym leader, Master Roshi. Growlithe is first, and we open with Ancient Power, taking it out in one go. Even if we don't get the boost, this thing will likely carry us through the battle. Ponyta's next, and we get a crit, taking it down and one-shotting it as well. Next is Rapidash, and we use Ancient Power, one-shotting it. I don't know if the boost was needed. And then with Arcanine, we just get a crit to take it out to win another simple gym badge. And you know what? I'm kind of okay with it. Alright, with 7 badges down, it's time to fight Giovanni. And once again, I feel pretty confident about this. There isn't much he can do given the fact that we have a partial flying type. So that means that his most powerful moves will end up not being able to touch us. Giovanni first sends out Rhyhorn, and we open up with Water Pulse, taking it down in one shot. He sends out his next Rhyhorn, and we're able to one-shot it as well. After that, Dugtrio's out, and it's more of the same, taking it down in one go. Next up is the Queen, and we Water Pulse it, knocking it to red as Body Slam connects for a bit of damage. Giovanni heals up, we take it back to red, and Giovanni then heals again. Water Pulse brings it back to red, and then we can take it out. Nidoking is his last Pokemon, and we have to take it to what I imagine is 1 HP, as we confuse it, and Thrash does some decent damage before we take it out to win the battle, and the final badge. Alright, we have one more rival fight before heading into Victory Road, and for the most part, I actually feel pretty good about it. The rival starts with Pidgeot, and we open with Ancient Power, taking it to yellow as Wing Attack connects, and then we can take it out. Gyarados is next, and we continue with Ancient Power, taking it to half and get an Omni Boost as Gyarados uses Leer, and then we can take it out. Next up is Rhyhorn, and we use Water Pulse, knocking it out in one shot. As Execute comes out, we swap to Dragon Claw, and that's enough to take it out. Alakazam is one that I'm actually surprised we outspeed with only a 1-level lead, but I'm also not surprised that it's a one-shot. And then finally, it's Charizard, who goes down to 4 times effective Ancient Power, and that wins us the battle. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of curious how the battle would have gone without the boost, but I'm also not gonna complain about a first try victory. Going through Victory Road, I have a feeling I know how the Elite Four is gonna go. Given our 4 times weakness to ice types, I think Lorelei is gonna be a bit of a wall. Bruno and Agatha will probably be pretty easy. I can see them taking a couple tries, and then I can see Lance going either way since Dragon types are the 2 Spider-Men pointing at each other meme. And the final rival will probably take a few attempts, but at the end of the day, we have a Rayquaza. I don't think it'll be too bad. With that, Lorelei is first, and we send out Rayquaza, take the Dugong to a little under half, and then Ice Beam immediately wrecks us. Huh. We tried this a bunch of times, and honestly, it's not going any differently. Given the fact that we do have that 4 times weakness to ice, Dugong is able to chip away at our health. Even if we get an Omni Boost, the Slowbro in the background is still usually able to survive 1 hit and then take us down. After some level ups and a lot of attempts, we could take Dugong down to red with Ancient Power, and we get an Omni boost from it. This way, when Lorelei heals up, we actually take the Dugong down with one more go. After that, both her Slowbro and her Jinx go down to one shot apiece, and then we can take Lapras down to red, the Berry heals it to yellow, and it Ice Beams us from full health down to 75 HP before we take it down. After that, Cloyster is an easy one-shot, and with that, it's time for us to move on. Next up is Bruno. Bruno starts with Onyx, and we need to start by Dragon Dancing as we get hit with Rock Tomb, and it does end up lowering our speed. Nothing too exciting to cover with this particular battle as we work on taking down his team. We're basically just getting chipped down along the way due to the fact that we did get a lowered speed. We get taken all the way down to 13 HP before finally landing the victory. I will be honest, this did take a few attempts because of Rock Tomb lowering our speed, so it wasn't a bad battle by any means. It's just there wasn't really anything crazy going on. Time for Agatha. Agatha starts with Gengar, and we open with Dragon Claw, taking it down in one shot. After that, Golbat is out, and we swap to Ancient Power for super effective damage, hitting it with a crit and knocking it out. Arbok comes out, and we use Dragon Claw, taking it to, again, 1 HP as Sludge Bomb connects for solid damage and poisons. Agatha heals, and we use Dragon Claw again, getting lower on the damage range, but still taking it to red before taking it out. The next Gengar's out, we use Dragon Claw, taking it to red as Shadow Ball does quite a bit of damage, and then Poison knocks us out. The next attempt goes a lot smoother, and the fact that we get an Ancient Power buff not once, but twice, and that basically allows us to go ahead and sweep her team as we move on to Lance. Lance starts off with Gyarados, and we're going to start with Ancient Power, partly for the damage, partly for the possible boost, which we end up receiving. After that, we're able to one-shot the next 3 of his Pokemon, including the scary Dragonite. Last up is Aerodactyl, who I've had problems with in the past, but it too turns out to be a one-shot, and that wins us a kind of anticlimactic final Elite Four member. Let's see if the final rival's any different. Pidgeot's first, and we open with Ancient Power, and then we do a bit of back and forth, and choosing to dance a bit before we knock it out. As Gyarados comes out, we're able to take it down with 2 more Ancient Powers. When Alakazam comes out, the rival does spend a good bit of time healing it up, but we finally get to take it down without being wrecked by Psychic. Exeggutor goes to red, misses its attack, and goes down to a few attacks later. And then last up is Charizard, who we're able to one-shot, winning the battle and the run. Alright, well, first and foremost, this will be a bit of a lengthy outro in comparison to normal. Not by much, but still. I wanted to again say thank you to anybody watching, anyone who submitted questions, even the non-questions, and that anyone who has subscribed to the channel along the way. We're insanely close being able to receive the super thanks and whatnot on the channel, and that's huge news. After that, it's just 1,000 more watch hours until we're able to get partner. Next week, I have a Machamp run, and I do have a Coughing run that I'd like to get done here soon. My schedule of work is going to be getting a little bit easier, it looks like, so I'm hoping to start working more in the evenings after work and the kiddos in bed. This way I don't have to worry about anything. I can just edit for a couple hours and be good. For now, though, I'm going to get back to work to try and make sure that I don't miss this week or any other week anytime soon. My kiddo has Thanksgiving break later this month and then Christmas break in next month. So getting to work in the mornings is going to be a little bit tricky, but that's why we try to record these in bulk, you know? Anyway, in the meantime, I hope that you have a safe November. Join the Discord if you want to hang out outside of this. You know the whole drill by now, but in the meantime, if you like the video, even if you didn't like the video, hit the like and subscribe button because it really does help me out. And until next time, everybody, peace out!